Hello lads and lasses and welcome to another video. So today I'm making a bit of an off the cusp just video without any script about some of the Jurassic World Evolution free discourse, because if you've been paying attention to it recently, there's been some debate about specifically the creatures being featured in the game, and I wanted to give my own opinion because I think some of it is, to be blunt, rather ridiculous. Now, I talked about it on Twitter a couple weeks ago, but I thought I'd make a video on it. A, to get something out there because I rarely upload, and B, just because I think I can articulate my points a bit more better when I'm speaking. Though again, this is unscripted, I'm just doing it now, just grab my microphone and doing it now, so it might not be too good, but I think that's a bit better than just trying to perfectly write a script because it's coming from, my own opinion and whatnot, but that's besides the point. So if you don't know, there's been some controversy with Jurassic World Evolution 3 with the dinosaurs that are being featured. Now, this is because not all the creatures from Jurassic World Evolution 2 are being brought over. Now, I don't believe the reason as to why has been explained, but it's suspected why, because the game has got the babies in it, so they've had to make new models for the baby dinosaurs and the male dinosaurs and obviously other prehistoric animals. So because of that, about 45 have been cut. They're not coming over, so only about 80 odd are returning. And so there's been a bit of controversy about which ones are returning. And specifically, some people feel that that Frontier, the game, are prioritizing quote-unquote canon species over original ones that were in Jurassic World Evolution 2 that Frontier just added. Like the Utahraptor, which hasn't made it in, to be fair, Dinochirus, Utaranus, all them, and instead they're prioritizing the ones that are in the films or extra canonical material. Now, when I heard about the controversy, this was kind of what I thought about that. Well, yeah, they would add all these dinosaurs and they would prioritize these canon species because it's a Jurassic World game. It's not its own thing, it's Jurassic World. So therefore, shouldn't Jurassic World creatures be prioritized? Now, I do think there is a slight argument they have. Not slight argument. They do have a good argument in some respect. Specifically that I don't feel like all the broader canon species has to be included because, for example, Archaeornithomimus, which I don't consider canon. I don't even think the wiki considers that one canon, and they got a pretty loose list. But, that, I don't consider canon because it's just is a one-line mention offhandedly once in Jurassic World, and so it was added in the previous games, and for that it's like, okay, you don't need Archaeornithomimus. That, come on, that doesn't count, that's not worthy enough, it's never even appeared in the films, so it doesn't need to be in the game. If you want Ornithomimosaurs, obviously you have Gallimimus, and then you have Struthiomimus, don't need Archie. So that, I think, stuff like that, where it's kind of the broader canon, like mentioned on a website, or, something like that, some kind of extra material that's not from the films or the shows, then that's fair enough. The issue I have are people saying stuff like the Giga should be cut, because they don't like the design. Now, I'm sorry, but what? Now, I know this kind of goes into a second point, about how it's very, very likely that the Frontier variants from the first two games won't be making it in. And again, the argument for that, the reasoning is likely is because of the whole model issue with how many models Frontier are having to make for this game. So people were debating whether the film variants or the Frontier variants were going to get in. Giga was often debated, Iguanodon, I saw a lot of that. And again, my thought was, why are you debating it? the Jurassic World ones are going to get in. The film designs are going to get in because it's a Jurassic World game. Why wouldn't they be put in? And you got people saying like, "Oh, the Giga, we need to get the Frontier Giga." It's like, okay, sure, the Frontier Giga is more accurate. It is more accurate. I mean, I'm personally not big on the design. I think it looks a bit weird. Like, I don't really have anything against the Dominion Giganotosaurus in an aesthetic way. Like, accuracy, it's not good, but aesthetically, it's sort of just eh. And I feel the same way about the Frontier one aesthetically, but that's just my opinion. Besides the point, but you got people debating, oh yeah, the Frontier one needs to get it in, and then when they reveal the Giga, and it's the Dominion design, you got some people saying, oh no, this is bad. Why would they do this? Because it's the Jurassic World game, and they should focus on adding Jurassic World creatures, right? And I know people understand that broadly. There's some people who don't. We'll get on that later. Broadly, people understand. Yeah, they need to prioritize the Jurassic World creatures and the Jurassic World designs. So, like, my thought is every single creature that has appeared in the films should be in the game, no matter what. I don't really care what you have to say. They should all be in the game because it's a Jurassic World game. And one of my reasonings for that is, as we've seen with the deluxe edition, Frontier seem to want to be selling back these creatures, which is odd because when the hybrid DLC for Jurassic World Evolution 2 came out, that was very controversial, the fact they were selling back the hybrids from the first game in another DLC, and now they're doing it again with the deluxe edition of Jurassic World Evolution 3 with Concavenator and Thanatos Dracon being in it. Thanatos Dracon especially is really odd because like that was one of the last creatures to be added to the previous game. That's besides the point. So clearly they are interested in selling back content, and I don't know about you, but I don't really want to deal with that. So because of that, I don't want to be playing a Jurassic World game, not have access to all the creatures from the films that I want to play with because I'm playing a Jurassic World game, and then if I want them, I'm going to have to pay for them again. But, like, I don't really like that. And there's that, and that's my thing. I don't want that to happen. Yet some people, I feel, aren't really considering that. And it's very, very possible that Frontier won't be selling them back. I know, I think it's Evo Square. She's very much pushing the idea of adding all the remaining creatures that were cut in free updates, which, just to be clear, I approve of that, and I really, really hope that's how they do it. Because otherwise, it's like, come on. Like, and I'm talking about, like, all of them. Every single creature that got cut, I hope that's how they reintroduce them and not just put them in DLCs where you have to pay for them. But the ones that were actually in the films, the actual Jurassic World creatures, more than anything, I don't want sold back. And now let's get into another point where I feel like people aren't also considering who's playing the game. Because obviously, it's a big community, there's a lot of people playing it, it's really nice to have all this. But you've also got to consider that not everyone playing the game is either a big dinosaur nerd or really in the community. A lot of people are playing it because they want to play Jurassic World. And if you don't have these Jurassic World creatures, then wouldn't that feel a bit off? And so why not? Why do we not have it? Now with ones like Atrociraptor, I can understand because the Atrociraptor is not that different from the Velociraptor. It's the same model, it's basically the same design, but with a slightly boxier head. And, it was never the most popular creature anyway. Like, unless people were doing a themed park, or, like a Dominion one, or a Chaos Theory one, or, like, every species in the game, or every creature in the films, people weren't using Atrociraptor. I still think it should be in the game because of my previous arguments, and it is in the game, but I can kind of understand that to a degree. What I don't understand are people saying that, using the same example, Giganotosaurus should be cut. Giga was one of the main creatures. Now, you can give your opinion on Dominion. That's not the discussion I'm trying to have here. If you're wondering what my opinion on Dominion is, I think it's just alright. But the Giga was the main selling point of the film. Well, one of the main selling points of the film. And so therefore, no matter what you think of the film or whatever you think of the design, it's now kind of an integral part of the franchise, and you can't just get rid of that because people don't like the way it looks. And again, I'm kind of circling around arguments here, but this reminds me of when Tarbosaurus was added to Jurassic World Evolution 2. Now, I will fully disclose that I do not like the Camp Cretaceous Tarbosaurus design. Not necessarily because, like, it's monstrous looking, that is part of it, but not necessarily that, but that just doesn't look like Tarbosaurus, and the proportions are all off. Like, it's weird, because I feel like the shows, Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory, have actually got some pretty decent dinosaur designs. I mean, the Monolophosaurus is a little weird, but the rest are all pretty decent. I really like the Pachyrhinosaurus, but anyway, but their Tarbosaurus is really bad. But anyway, yeah, when that was coming out, there was a lot of people saying, "Oh, I hope Frontier do their own design," or "Oh, it was either they add the Camp Cretaceous one and an original design, or they just don't do the Camp Cretaceous one and have the original design." And I remember when that was happening, people were discussing that, and I was thinking, why? Why on earth would Frontier do that? Because, as I keep reiterating, it's a Jurassic World game, and they're going to use the Jurassic World designs. Plus, that's also more work for the company, which I'm sure, like, if they wanted to, they probably would make an original design. But if they don't need to, then I don't see why they would. And also, I know there's like some debate about Hidden Adventure, Camp Cretaceous Hidden Adventure, which is what the Tarbosaurus was from, about its canonicity. Is it canon? Is it not? Because it was already a bit dubious, and then it got deleted off Netflix. And, you know, like, that's fair enough. I don't know where I stand on it. But that is the closest thing we will probably ever get to an official Tarbosaurus design. So even if it is not the greatest design in the world, it's just what we're gonna get. Like, I'm sorry, like, that's what we're getting. But all this is like mild debate, which I'm sure most people would agree with. I'm being pretty blunt, but I'm sure most people would agree with what I'm saying. What I don't understand are the people saying stuff like, "Oh, they should just get rid of these Jurassic World designs." And I'm not talking about the ones that were added in Evolution 2 that overwrit that alongside the original Frontier design. No, I'm talking stuff like Spinosaurus or Triceratops or even T-Rex. Some people, there was this a Reddit post, I'll have to try and find it. If I do, I'll put it on screen, where people are saying, "Oh, the Frontier should redesign the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus." Some people are talking about Triceratops and how they need to be redesigned to be more paleo accurate because these designs, the argument is either they're ugly or they're inaccurate or both. And I'm just thinking, what are you talking about? They're not going to redesign it, and people are paying money for this game and playing this game for the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World dinosaurs and elements in it. And when you really think about it, what these people actually want is Prehistoric Kingdom. And like, Prehistoric Kingdom is a good game, and it's great, and I'd recommend it if you have the patience for it, because I'll be honest, I have it, but I haven't been playing it too much because it takes so much effort, and you really need to be in the mood for it. But that's kind of the road Jurassic World Evolution 3 is going now. But anyway, I remember I saw one guy, and to be fair, I don't fully understand what he was talking about. Well, no, I did, but I might be wrong even. That's what I meant to say. I might be wrong, where he basically said, oh yeah, I disagree with these people saying that there should be redesigns. But, with Triceratops, no. No, Triceratops will stay with the Jurassic designs. It's just how it is. And not to mention, variance is something that the game will have to address eventually because of Rebirth. They're not gonna add, say, the Rebirth Spinosaurus or the Rebirth Quetzalcoatlus. They're gonna be added. They'll have to be added as variants. So at least all the sort of canon Jurassic World, Jurassic Park variants will probably be added over time. And I wouldn't be shocked if the Frontier original designs do make it in eventually. I wouldn't put money on it because I think when that would just probably be a waste of time for in the eyes of Frontier as a corporation. Why would you spend the time and money on this? But you never know. They have done things for the community. They do listen a lot, so you never know. But yeah, I just do not see the reasoning behind trying to abandon the Jurassic World designs for kind of new original designs in the game. And I think this is kind of where the obsession with scientific accuracy gets to a point of being kind of annoying. And if you look at my YouTube posts, I've talked about it a little bit, a tiny bit. To be fair, I wouldn't look because I haven't really talked about it in months and I post fairly often. But I don't think everything needs to be strictly scientifically accurate in fiction. And I would always strive for accuracy and I will always appreciate it, but I don't believe everything needs to be accurate. Right? And well, in this context, it isn't really up to Frontier. It's up to Universal and the people behind the films. So you can hate the Giga, you can hate the Iguanodon, you can hate the Tarbo, but that's not up to them. That is not what they don't really have. Frontier do not have a choice behind what they make the dinosaurs look like, really, because there are already franchise designs. Anyway, this video is nearing 20 minutes. I could have more to say, but to be honest, I've reiterated myself a lot. It's been a bit of a roundabout video, and I don't really want to go on for any longer. So, anyway, hope you all have a nice day. Hope you enjoyed listening to my ramblings. My phone is going off anyway. So I'll see you all later. Goodbye.